Yo, sitting here, man, in Salt Lake. It's a beautiful day in Salt Lake, man. And it's amazing, to look at these streets. Normally, you get snow all on the ground, ice, but it is a beautiful day. I had got out of the truck and I walked the block actually. You know what I mean? Supposed to be vacationing in Florida. Um, yeah, I'm supposed to be vacationing in Florida. Not this week, but next week, and I'm looking forward to that, son. But luckily, I got to experience this, son, and it's crazy that you can see the snowy mountains from afar, and it's a beautiful day. That is amazing, man. But anyway, man, I wanted to talk about truck parking, truck stops, rest stops, and knowing when to just give up the ghost, find somewhere to park, and start over tomorrow. Um, I probably had a few in my time um, clock violations. I was a service violationist, if you will, because I want to get every second of the day out of the way. And what happens is you find yourself in a tough spot. I know coming from New Jersey area, you got to shut down early, man. Either you're going to drive through the night into the morning, or you're going to shut down early enough to where you off the roads. I see a lot of guys. I used to wonder why a lot of guys used to get up, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and just ride. And I know why. Because, you start out early, you stop early, and you find your place to park. You ain't got to do no crazy parking. You ain't got to do no blindside parking, none of that stuff. And you just get in there comfortably and go to sleep. What happens is, what I realized, when you get tired, your patience is shorter, and you tend to make mistakes. That's if you're a driver, a police officer, a chef. I don't care what it is. The body just tell you, hey, listen, I'm done. Let's shut this down. And I remember coming through Wyoming, they shut I-80 down, and I was in a terrible truck stop, which I hate. It's like a little off-brand truck stop, but it got a huge field that's not marked or nothing. You just go park. And usually the first couple of trucks usually set the tone of how the parking is going to be for the night. And the CR England guy came, and the parking lot was dark. I mean, really wasn't no lighting. A lot of truck drivers, some got some really good truck drivers out. Some truck drivers cut the lights on, so he kind of like navigated through. And it was a truck in his blind side. No truck over had the lights on, and instead of him getting out, he just kept going, and next thing you know, he backed into somebody. And you could tell he'd been driving all night. He was just frustrated because he hit the guy, let the guy know he hit him, and he just walked off, I guess, went to the bathroom, whatever. Like, man, call the police, do whatever you got to do, man. I'm tired. You know what I mean? And he just went, came back. By the time police came, and they got the report, did pictures and stuff. But that's one place I stay away from. To go into my next topic, the types of places I stay away from. I know a lot of guys go to Walmarts. I had a bad experience at Walmart. I shut down. I think it was a accident on 57, and they shut I was behind the accident, and they had us at a complete stop. I ran out of hours of service. I probably had like 30 minutes left. I made it to the petrol. It was packed, and the only other choice I had was to Walmart. Luckily, the Walmart shared the parking lot with a church. The guy came, woke me up, and told me I had to move. And I told him, no, I'm not going to move. I don't have any hours. And he was like, listen, man, I don't have time for this. I will call and get you towed, bro. I understand your situation, but understand mine as well. I didn't want to give him a hard time, and he just told me, hey, man, it's a church right next door. You can just move your truck right over there. I didn't want to get a man a hard time, so I just moved over there. Didn't go to sleep. I discovered a very good pizza joint over there. Went over there, ate, chilled out for a couple hours, shopped a little bit, got in the truck, and I went home. But I try to stay away from small truck stops. I try to stay away from poorly lit truck stops. I try to stay away from truck stops that you kind of got to go look for. I stay away from the small. Sometimes you're running to big truck stops like the Petros, the Pilots. Sometimes they have a lot of parking, and sometimes they don't. Like right here in Salt Lake, they got a truck, the Flying J. Man, that things get crowded and guys just park anywhere. So, I try to find a place that's easy to back into so I can go head on, and once I get time, I can easily either go to the pump, get some fuel, or leave. That's it. I don't try to deal too much with truck stops, man, because, I'm not one of those guys who sit up all night, and so hopefully nobody don't hit my truck, because people make mistakes. People make mistakes. So my advice, man, to the guys that's new out here that's coming out, don't think you have to stop at a truck stop every time you stop for your 10-hour. Find your rest area. Rest areas, they're pretty good. A lot of rest areas. Some rest areas, when during the winter times, they don't properly pave them. Snow plow them. But I found some pretty decent parking. A lot of guys would flood the truck stops first. I've heard horror stories about guys parking off of highways, parking off the side of the road, with your blankets on all night. Not only is it dangerous, but you can also get yourself a ticket. But man, listen, get you some fuel. Make sure you got plenty of fuel to make it to your next destination. I would say rest areas, or start early, stop early. They give you X amount of hours to drive a day. You're not going to drive all those hours a day, because you got to take into consideration, you got to have a rest stop. You got to get your 30-minute in. Also, from point A to point B, where you're trying to go, ain't going to be 11 hours, 10 hours. You have to plan a call. Okay, I got 2 hours left, and then start finding somewhere to park. Those 2 hours, you're probably going to get you another 60, 120 miles in, depending on how fast you're going and where you at. Because you driving in the mountains and whatnot, you're already losing on gas mileage and time. But it's a lot of places. Usually, I went to Nashville. You got to stop early to get you a parking spot. Denver, Colorado, 3 o'clock. I stopped at a TA. Had 2 hours left, and that thing filled up, and I did not move. Paying for parking. If you got to pay for parking, man. It's better than going out, finding no parking, get you a violation, parking somewhere, and it's just crazy. I heard a friend of mine stopped at a Lowe's before, and he parked in the parking lot. They made a move. He had to wake up. He was very tired, had to wake up. He didn't get out and check his surroundings. He kind of backed up and ran into another car, and he didn't see it back there. So protect your CDL at all costs. I don't want nobody waking me up before 10 hours or trying to get me to move before 8 to 10 hours, because 8 hours you usually get a little time depending on the situation and the company you at. But yeah, man, watch your parking, be safe. Don't mess up another driver's day or night by hitting a truck, man. That is so frustrating. Everybody out here to make money because of your carelessness. You mess up his entire night because you decide to run into his truck. Don't do it. Be safe. Watch your equipment. Take care of your equipment. Get out and look. That's my